How's it going, folks? It looks like we got a flip-flop again. Markets are absolutely rocketing in response to the news of a provisional ceasefire in the Iran-US conflict. Markets are loving it for the time being. I do think this might be a trap, and we are already, unfortunately, starting to see some cracks forming in this situation. Let's get straight into it. I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to know. We are still in my leverage long position. I'm still up. I have taken some profits off the table. Let's jump into exactly what's going on here, and I could show you where I think things are likely to progress from this. So as you can see, Bitcoin is up at $71,266 at the time of recording. From yesterday, we are up as much as, to the highs of the day, 7.67%, and to where we are right now, 5.26%. Last night, we made that first stab up above resistance here at $72,000. And if you were paying attention in yesterday's video, you would know that $72,000 was my first target to start exiting out of this trade. And I did indeed stick to the plan and exited some more of this trade yesterday evening. Let me just move myself so that you can see this clearly. And you will see that, there we go, we closed out another 0.5 BTC of this position. In fact, you can see that there, and that resulted in a profit yesterday of $309. The day before that, we closed out 0.05 BTC again for a profit of $216, and we still are in this position, 0.05 BTC, currently up $284. Now, if you have been paying attention, you will have known I got into this trade at an average price of $65,585, and the thesis for this was basically that too many people got short here, too many people got short here, too many people got short here, and they were all setting themselves up to become liquidated when we saw the inevitable flip-flop on the reality of all of the news items that basically brought about these. This first one here was basically the disappointment of this up move, which was brought about by optimism on Trump promising a ceasefire. Right now it looks like we have in fact got to a provisional ceasefire at least, and that is the catalyst that has moved us up to come and liquidate some of the shorts that got in here, some of the shorts that got in here, and the shorts that got in here just a couple of days ago. You could see this reflected in the data. Don't just take my word for it. So if you look over here on CoinGlass, you will see over the last 24 hours, surprise, surprise, $475 million worth of short positions liquidated out of the market. What does it mean when a short position becomes liquidated? It means forced buying onto the market. The exchange goes and buys Bitcoin on the market to cover the short position that you couldn't stay in, you couldn't afford to stay in because you saw a red candle and you thought, I've got a good idea, I'm going to go short because we're going to sink like a stone and go straight to the bottom. That's not how things work. Usually, people getting into these trades with short-term expectations set themselves up to be obliterated in the short term, and the exact opposite of that happens. And you can see the changing picture now reflected in the data. A load of those shorts have been liquidated. On the daily time frame, you can see shorts versus longs in the market right now reflected in liquidation risk is pretty much balanced over the last 30 days. Now we've got slightly higher longs in the market. If you like these videos, by the way, drop me a sub. I upload almost every day my thoughts on the market, the situation, the fundamentals, and of course my trades that I'm getting into as well as a result. But if you take anything from this, let it be that we got into this long trade at $65,000, right? Look very carefully on the chart where $65,000 is. I'm going to move my head here so you can see more clearly. Okay, $65,000 is all the way down here where my cursor is, right? Let's put a line in there just to really cement this, okay? 65,000. All the way down here, right? Let's make that line thick and let's make that line green. Let's make that line green. There we go, right? We didn't get red today because we heard the news about a ceasefire. We didn't get red a few days ago, and we didn't get red on any of these green candles, right? We got red, we got green on the red candles when the market was selling off. Because we've seen this pattern happen time and again. Things come down too quickly, people get short, and then suddenly those shorts get obliterated on the way up. That is, without stretching into the territory of advice, that is the message that I've got for you here, okay? If you're getting short because you see a red candle, and if you're getting long because you see a green candle, then you are setting yourself up for complete and utter failure. That's all I've got to say on the matter, right? The breakout trade, this is probably the biggest lie in trading that I've ever heard, honestly. Get long when the market is selling off, get short when the market is pulling up. Overall, on average, in a risk-adjusted way, with a short, with goals that are appropriate, right, to the patterns that you've been seeing, okay? We got long at the bottom of the range, and we've started exiting this trade as we reach the top of the range. Specifically, as we reach local highs here, $72,000, that was my target. We shaved some of this off yesterday, knowing that this was going to be volatile, right, at 69,000. The point of control of the volume profile, that is the area where the most amount, that's the price where the most amount of volume has been conducted since the 6th of February, and at the top of that volume profile, right, the high volume area is where these local highs reside, and that's where we're getting out of another portion of this trade. Now I've got a little bit left in, 1/3 left in to continue running, but we are up overall on this trade. If you consider the last 2 sells that we made, we're up something like $500. Okay, in realized profits, $500 taken out of this trade, and there's still $280 left in. So call it nearly $800 currently right now, $500 taken off the table. Not a huge trade by any means. Right now, my bigger priority is investing in buying spot Bitcoin. You shouldn't be trading with money that you don't have, can't afford to lose. If you are interested in how I make money in order to fund trading and fund investing, take a look at my second channel linked in the description below. For the last 3 years or so, I have been selling other people's products and services online. Doesn't really matter what that is, but it means that you can make a top tier income from anywhere in the world on your own schedule, and you can do so via other people's products and services. You don't have to make a business yourself to do this. Go and check it out if you're interested in it. This is a channel for discussing crypto, but obviously you can't invest if you don't have any money with which to invest. And you should never be investing money that you don't have to lose, that you can't afford to lose. So I take my income from that day job, if you want to call it that, and I invest it into the markets. That is my strategy. Long term, I want to accumulate spot Bitcoin. So what is the news catalyst that has caused, this is the liquidations of the fuel on the fire. What was the spark that set it off this time? It is the news of a potential ceasefire, right? We got the Trump taco. Trump always chickens out. Tends to happen on a Tuesday, particularly after a long bank holiday weekend, right? We saw pretty shocking rhetoric going into that, I think, by all accounts. The BBC call it politely an expletive-laden tweet by Trump. I think he was promising the end of Iranian civilization or something absolutely ludicrous like that. But we got the flip-flop, right? Some will say that it worked. I'm not certain on that one. Read the story yourself, see what you take from that, what you will. But anyway, the point is this. The Iran ceasefire offers a chance at real peace as both sides are claiming victory on this one, right? US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says, we have a real chance at peace after a conditional 2-week ceasefire is agreed with Iran. Hegseth, no need for that, sorry. Let's keep going down the list. Both sides have claimed victory. This is important, right? Iran says it will reopen the Strait of Hormuz and that its victory in the field will also be consolidated in upcoming talks. But unfortunately, well, in fact, first of all, this is on a 10-point plan, right? So there's conditions to this ceasefire. A lot of people are saying the odds of these conditions all being met are potentially slim. First, withdrawal of US forces from the region, that makes sense. Second, Iranian control of the Strait of Hormuz. Third, compensation for damages to Iran. Removal of sanctions, release of frozen Iranian assets, Iranian commitment to not build nuclear weapons, acceptance of Iran's right to enrich, that is enriching uranium, which is the precursor to nuclear weapons. Iran's agreement to peace treaties with regional countries, ceasing hostilities against all resistance groups in the region, and provisions backed by UN resolution. Now, of course, this all pivots on the Strait of Hormuz, right? This is the strait through which 20% of the world's oil must transit. That is why oil prices are increasing. That's why inflation looks sticky, because oil prices have a trickle-down effect on the entire economy. If oil is more expensive, it's more expensive to make stuff. Markets don't like uncertainty at the best of times, but if you include the inflationary risk that we get from higher oil prices, that also results in tightening monetary policy and less liquidity into the markets. The S&P is enjoying this news for right now, okay? The market reaction to this has been huge. 7.33% up in the S&P over the last few days, right? To be fair, on this news, it's more like 3% up. Let me measure that for you. On the day, up. Okay, 2.7%. But look how far down we came from highs in the S&P, right? Down as far as 10.26%. Okay, clearly that is a recovery. The markets are reacting to this in a positive light. The problem with this is we're already starting to see cracks form, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see, once again, a retracement from this. It's part of the reason why I'm perfectly happy to stick to the plan and start getting out of my trade, because we are seeing cracks in the fundamentals of this, right? Cracks in the ceasefire. And as we know, because we pay attention to these things, we know that a lot of people would have jumped in the green candle, right? Not getting in at 65k like I did, but getting in today. Okay, people get in on that. You can see it reflected in the liquidation risk in the market. Even on the 30-day time horizon, this is flipped. There's more people long right now than there are shorts. And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see some retracements on this, okay? A ceasefire in place is obviously a good thing for a multitude of different reasons, but I'm just saying be aware of potentially that situation being retraced somewhat, and retracements anyway, just naturally because too many people got leveraged long on that news, right? Why are we worried about retracements? Well, here we go. The Iranian news agency Fars later reported that tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz had been stopped because Israel's fresh wave of attacks on Lebanon constituted a ceasefire breach. This has already happened, okay? The ceasefire was agreed hours ago, and now this is happening already, right? This is what I mean. The situation is still fragile. The Strait of Hormuz is not open yet. Those oil prices aren't coming down just yet. We haven't yet seen a big reaction in oil markets from that, but the point I'm making, I think, is very clear. The Strait of Hormuz is not, in fact, open just yet. We're getting closer to somewhere more positive with this, but we're not there just yet, right? Iran warns Donald Trump, our fingers are on the trigger, but does agree to open the Strait of Hormuz. This was slightly before the last story that I just showed you. Sorry for that. I'm jumping around a little bit, but I think the point is clear. Bottom line, the situation is live. Yes, we're winning trades. Yes, the plan is playing out, but it's an incredibly volatile time. And no, I haven't seen this news and decided I need to go gig along on leverage right now. Absolutely not. I'm also not panicking that I haven't bought enough spot yet. I don't think that the bear market is completely over yet, but the market does have the blinkers on and it is focused on this situation right now. More positive news. Yes, we can probably continue this run a little bit and start challenging highs up here. Clearly, I'm still staying in a small amount in my leverage long position. Any sort of retracement on this, and you're kind of seeing the cracks forming already. It's being expressed in the market as well. Expect a pullback back through these green candles, right? You kind of saw it there already, right? From the highs we put in, wick down like 2.93%. Not a massive liquidation run, but yeah, it's happening, right? $181 million, and that happens, okay, $71 million worth in the last 12 hours, 55 in the last 4. Okay, you can see what's kind of happening here. You can see it more in the liquidation map that we're set up to see more of that if we do see pullbacks. And that will happen, honestly, even without a massive, like an end to the ceasefire or some other massive fundamental news piece. Point is, yes, good news. Yes, selling out part of my trade because these things tend to retrace. We know people are stupid and don't learn from the past and jump in leverage long when they see green candles. And also the situation's still live, it's still moving around. But as always, not financial advice, purely my opinion shared just for entertainment purposes. Appreciate you watching this. Catch you in the next one.